Summersby now attracting money at 6-1 and 11-2 female on the exchanges. Summersby's been drifting backwards and forwards, hasn't it?
Plenty of fluctuations in this race, showing you what strength and depth there are in the race, and showing that the bookmakers are actually able to make a book. Very rarely that they're able to lay every runner in the race. Riverside Theatre, of course, is a huge positive. Nicky Henderson, fabulous day yesterday. Along with him now, Ruby Light is being backed, as Max said. Captain Chris was being backed, he's now on the drift. Big drifters though, Noble Prince and also Great Endeavour. Those two are not wanted at all, but really and truly every horse has been backed.
And we have the Irish here. Look at this. They want Ruby Light.
Oh, this is a tremendous race coming up. Just check on the eye catchers here in the paddock. Albertas Run going to post Blazing Tempo in the betting ring. Riverside Theatre, Ruby Light. Not much for Albertas Run or Medermit. Exchanges, Riverside Theatre, Ruby Light. Negatives, Great Endeavour and Noble Prince. Won't be long before they're asked to come out. Boys, what do you fancy here? Jim, you're on a roll.
Well, it'd be hard. This is a hard one to crack. I go for Riverside Theatre.
Yeah, make that two. And you, Ted?
I'd like to see Noble Prince win for the Nolans. I'm having such a bad run tipping him, I'm afraid to stick my neck out.
The Ryanair, it is our big chase of the day. It's got some really progressive types, the likes of Riverside Theatre in it. There's a bit of money for Ruby Light. Albertas Run has a fabulous record at this meeting. And although it's a bit misty, this place is busy again today. We had really good crowds for the first 2 days. The third day is building too, and of course tomorrow it'll just all go completely bonkers. It's Gold Cup Day. But today, it's Ryanair.
And happily the mist is lifting, and for the first time today we can see all of the racecourse from the stands. So the weather brightening up. Riverside Theatre, the 7-2 favourite. Summersby 5-1. A great result for Henrietta Knight and Terry Biddlecombe should he come through. Now they're just having a look at Pokerland down at the start here. The vet being asked to examine it. That's Hugh Barclay just holding the options according to Big Mac. And so Pokerland is out. That's unfortunate because he's run well in this race before. And they're now being asked to come in, and they're away for the Ryanair Chase. Great Endeavour on the near side of Ruby Light. Albertas Run looking for the hat-trick on the outside, and wider out is Little Josh as they cleared the first fence. One or two of them came quite close together in behind the leaders, and Albertas Run and Tony McCoy from Little Josh, Ruby Light in the noseband, Great Endeavour on the right. Then in the red and white stripes is for Paddy de Plastra. Riverside Theatre captain Chris trailing early is Blazing Tempo, a little bit off the gallop. Also at the back, Noble Prince and Kalahari King as they jump the third. Alberta's Run fired into it from Great Endeavour. Little Josh on the near side, Ruby Light in fourth place for Paddy de Plastra and Captain Chris. Then Riverside Theatre, Summersby in the dark green jacket, and then the grey Medermit from Kalahari King and Noble Prince, and finally the mare Blazing Tempo at the rear of the field, making the bottom left-hand turn as they make their way now onto flights 4 and 5 and swinging this corner. It's Great Endeavour, twice a winner on this course before at this meeting in the past, and of course in the Paddy Power Gold Cup earlier in the season. Alberta's run alongside. And then in third is Ruby Light, Little Josh on the near side from Riverside Theatre, Captain Chris for Paddy de Plastra, and then Medermit as they jump the next. A bit slow there, Noble Prince, and Blazing Tempo not really jumping with a great deal of fluency at the rear of the field as they make their way on to the next couple of plain fences before going out into the country again. And it's Great Endeavour from Alberta's Run and Little Josh almost three in a line. Ruby Light is just in behind them, followed by Riverside Theatre, then Captain Chris for Paddy de Plastra, the white-faced Summersby on the outside, then the grey Medermit and Kalahari King, followed by Noble Prince as they jump the next, and the leaders skimming over. Noble Prince was a bit slow, just propped slightly on takeoff, and Blazing Tempo continues to trail. Heading uphill now and on their way to the back straight, and it's Great Endeavour who's made most so far from Ruby Light, and Alberta's Run very handy. Little Josh is back in fourth, then Riverside Theatre and Captain Chris. For Paddy de Plaster lies about seventh, the former Arkle winner from Medermit and Kalahari King, with Summersby to the outside, then Noble Prince, and about 5 lengths to Blazing Tempo as they jump the next, and Ruby Light putting in a big jump there. Noble Prince again pretty slow back in the field as they head on towards the water jump, and it's Ruby Light and Alberta's Run who now dispute the lead from Great Endeavour back in third over the water. Captain Chris is close up, jumping better than on his last appearance here. Little Josh, Riverside Theatre, was he just niggling a little bit there, Barry Geraghty? Now to an open ditch, and Ruby Light and Alberta's Run. Blazing Tempo being pulled up, just didn't go a yard. Ruby Light and Alberta's Run. Little Josh on the outside, Great Endeavour, Captain Chris, Riverside Theatre getting closer, Summersby towards the outside, and this race is really warming up now as they swing left-handed with 6 left to jump. The next an open ditch, and it's Ruby Light and Andrew Lynch and Alberta's Run, and the 16 times champion jockey Tony McCoy. He got a great jump out of Alberta's Run there, who took it up. It's Alberta's Run seeking his third Ryanair Chase from Ruby Light. Then in behind them, Great Endeavour, Medermit, Riverside Theatre, Little Josh. Summersby is getting closer. Then Captain Chris, and for Paddy de Plaster, as now they reach the top of the hill. The next is a tricky one. It's Alberta's Run, Ruby Light coming back on the inside. Then Riverside Theatre slowly getting into the race as they now run towards this plain fence at the top of the hill. Ruby Light this time led, and they're exchanging blows here, these two leaders. Ruby Light from Alberta's Run, followed by Riverside Theatre. Then Summersby to the outside. Medermit has a chance. For Paddy de Plaster is running a big race as well. Then a gap to Great Endeavour and Captain Chris at the third last. Ruby Light, Alberta's Run together again. Alberta's Run this time getting the better of it. Riverside Theatre punched along in third place. Then Medermit for Paddy de Plaster. Summersby's now struggling as they run into the final turn. And Alberta's Run leads again at the Cheltenham Festival. Riverside Theatre trying to challenge. Then Ruby Light. Medermit is coming through as well as they head down towards the second last. It's still Alberta's Run. Medermit is the latest challenger. Riverside Theatre on the outside, over 2 out. Then Ruby Light for Paddy de Plaster, Summersby and Captain Chris. Alberta's Run challenged on both sides. Medermit on the far side, Riverside Theatre on the near. Great jump again from Alberta's Run. Gained him a length up the hill. It's McCoy in full flow here from Riverside Theatre. Medermit on the far side, running on really well. Alberta's Run, Riverside Theatre is getting up. Riverside Theatre on the near side, nails the Ryanair. Just collars Alberta's Run and Medermit in a tremendous finish. Captain Chris and Ruby Light following 4th and 5th. Then came for Paddy de Plaster, Summersby, Great Endeavour, Kalahari King and Little Josh. What a thriller. Riverside Theatre at times during the race not really travelling, but he has come storming up the hill. Celebrations again for the Nicky Henderson team, and they are having a fantastic week. They are rightly jubilant. What a ride from Barry Geraghty again on this horse, part owned by Jimmy Nesbitt, our morning line guest this morning. And what a tremendous run once more from Alberta's Run in second. Medermit running well as well in third. A memorable race.
Well, that was a great race to watch. I can't imagine what it was like to ride.
It was hard work. I never travelled. Missed a good few for no reason. But he's game. Threw him at the last 4 fences and he just kept coming. I was beaten everywhere. And just he started rallying after the last and away with him.
Because you got in a bit of a tricky situation because Captain Chris was jumping right and kept sort of squashing you, and then he started to back off a bit, didn't he?
Yeah. I was getting tight for room just when I wasn't travelling. I couldn't get room. But every time I went and dug into him, he found more. I was trying to keep count. I hope I'm not over. But he was very classy.
Very classy. Forget the bounce factor. 2 runs after a year off, 2 wins.
It's unbelievable training to do it at this level. He's a bit of a mystery, man.
Wow. It's a bit of a week. Well done.
Thanks, Alice. Thank you.